Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're going to unpack a truly fascinating intersection. We're looking at how ancient mindfulness practices, modern clinical psychology, and, you guessed it, the wildly popular concept of modern manifestation all just kind of collide. I mean, you've definitely seen it all over the internet, right? Buzzwords like manifesting abundance or vibrating at a higher frequency are literally everywhere. But as focused learners, we got to ask ourselves, what exactly is mindfulness in a strict clinical sense? And honestly, does this whole manifesting thing actually have any rigorous science backing it up? Well, today I promise you a highly structured look under the hood. We're bypassing all the internet hype and looking directly at what the data, the history, and the psychology actually tell us. So, to ground this whole conversation, we really need to understand where these concepts actually come from. And looking at the timeline, it becomes incredibly clear that mindfulness is absolutely not some new internet trend. Not at all. Its roots go back over 4,000 years to ancient India, emerging directly from Hinduism and Vedic texts. Then, around 400 to 500 BCE, Buddhism introduced this concept of sati, which roughly translates to mindful awareness as that very first step toward enlightenment. Fast forward a bit to the 1970s here in the West, and we see a massive shift. Jon Kabat-Zinn, after studying with Buddhist teachers, decided to strip away the religious context to create the totally secular mindfulness-based stress reduction program, or MBSR. That was a huge game changer. It basically bridged the gap, bringing these really ancient practices straight into the realm of modern, secular, positive psychology. Now, what's really interesting about all this is how it illustrates exactly what's going on inside our brains. Enter the IAA model, developed by clinical psychologist Dr. Shauna Shapiro and her colleagues. They essentially wanted to know the actual nuts and bolts mechanisms of mindfulness. Like, how does just sitting quietly actually change us? Well, they deduced that mindfulness isn't just one single thing. It's actually a simultaneous cyclic process built on three fundamental axioms: intention, attention, and attitude. Let's break these down, because they are literally the scientific engine behind any successful meditation practice.
Axiom number one is intention. Basically, why are you practicing in the first place? For a long time, Western psychology kind of stripped this part away and just focused on the sheer mechanics of relaxing. But intention is absolutely crucial. Your intention sets the stage for what's even possible. And here's the cool part. Intention is completely dynamic. You might start meditating just to lower your blood pressure, just simple stress relief. But as you keep at it, your intention evolves. It might grow into self-exploration, and eventually deep self-liberation and even compassion for others. Knowing your why is that critical first step to unlocking abundance.
Moving on, the second axiom is attention. This is that core practice of observing your moment-to-moment experience, both internal and external, right here, right now. It's basically your ability to just suspend all those automatic interpretations and judgments and simply observe the contents of your own consciousness. In a clinical sense, practicing this actively enhances your vigilance, your ability to quickly shift focus, and, maybe most importantly, your capacity to hit the brakes on those secondary, spiraling thoughts that so often cause us massive anxiety. But how we actually pay attention matters immensely. And that brings us right to the third axiom, attitude. Think about it. If you just observe your thoughts with a cold, critical, or judgmental eye, you're just not going to experience the benefits of mindfulness. You have to approach your attention with an affectionate, compassionate, and open-hearted presence. Bringing patience and kindness to your practice prevents it from just becoming another heavy tool you use to beat yourself up with. It's really all about acceptance, even when the present moment feels deeply uncomfortable. So, the crucial point here is what happens when you combine intention, attention, and attitude. According to the psychological research, it actually triggers a powerful meta-mechanism called reperceiving. This is a fundamental shift in perspective. Imagine you're swimming in this incredibly turbulent ocean, just getting absolutely thrashed by the waves of your own thoughts and emotions. Reperceiving is your ability to drop down deep beneath the surface, to a calm place where you can simply observe those waves crashing above you. What was previously subject, meaning you identified completely with your anxiety or your fear, suddenly becomes object. It becomes something you can step back from and just witness. You suddenly realize, wait, I am not my anxiety. I am the awareness observing the anxiety.
And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates exactly how mindfulness connects to the whole concept of abundance. The contrast between these two mental states is incredibly stark. A scarcity mindset is just completely consumed by lack, limitation, and that gnawing anxiety of not having enough. When you're trapped in that mindset, you literally cannot see the opportunities sitting right in front of you. But through reperceiving, we can psychologically pivot. We detach from that anxiety and shift right over to an abundance mindset, which recognizes the wealth and endless opportunity already present in our lives. We literally start rewiring our brains to expect positive outcomes, rather than just endlessly obsessing over deficits.
Let's move along and see how this builds into an actual actionable practice. The Calm blog outlines a fantastic step-by-step guide to actually applying this science in a daily abundance meditation. First off, make yourself comfortable so you can relax the body. Second, set your intention. Remember Axiom 1? Decide exactly what you're focusing on, whether that's financial peace, health, whatever. Third, visualize your goal super vividly. Fourth, use positive affirmations to start rewiring those neural pathways. And fifth, express deep, genuine gratitude for what you already have, anchoring yourself firmly in the present moment.
Actually, let's take a quick second to try this right now. I want to invite you into a mini meditative moment with us. Consider this incredibly powerful affirmation from manifestation teacher Gabrielle Bernstein. As I read it, I want you to try and vividly visualize an abundant reality. Just imagine it's already here. Maybe it's the exact second you see a funds received notification pop up on your phone, or that feeling of walking into a beautiful new home you can comfortably afford. Here are the words. My abundant desire is here now. Abundance continues to flow to me with ease. I have more than enough. Just notice how shifting your attention to that specific positive feeling instantly changes your physical state in this very moment.
Okay, but we absolutely need to balance this with a grounded reality check. The Times of India recently published this fantastic piece that totally myth-busts the toxic positivity you sometimes see floating around the manifestation community. Because listen, visualizing without taking action is a total trap. Common pitfalls include just being super vague about what you want, or fixating solely on the outcome while completely ignoring the necessary actions. Because let's be real, visualizing a new job isn't going to do much if you never actually submit a resume. Other major traps are inconsistency or trying to manifest from a place of sheer desperation. Paradoxically, acting out of desperation locks you right back into that exact scarcity mindset we talked about earlier.
Which brings us to our final thought today. We've seen the 4,000-year history, we've broken down the clinical IAA model of how our brains reperceive reality, and we've mapped out both the practical steps and the pitfalls of abundance meditation. So I'm going to leave you with this question to really chew on. Will you use mindfulness merely as a tool to cope with the stressful reality, or will you take these structured insights and use them to actively shape a life of abundance? The science clearly shows us the mechanism is right there in your mind, just waiting to be used. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep focusing, and I'll catch you next time.